thing that annoys me is they're meant to be like a reputable bouncy castle company, but they, for whatever reason, don't accept returns. So I'm stuck with it.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode, and they are episodes of the Lack of Focus podcast with me, Matt Bentley, and with me today, as usual, is Harvey Quinn. Harvey.
Hello, how are we doing?
Well, great to have you here.
Pleasure.
Thanks for joining us. Lots to get through today.
Loads.
Already too much chit chat. So let's get down to business. A special episode again.
Another special episode.
So the last time we went down on this feast of feet of Everest sort of levels was last year, where we sort of delved into a history-esque podcast.
Sure.
It was a roaring success.
Rip-roaring.
And we just thought that's low-hanging fruit. It seems to be working for every other production company where they get one hit and they just churn it out and just don't. So we've done, if you can imagine this, less research.
Way less.
But we're going to do it again we're going to go again.
I am incredibly excited about the amount of detail that we're going to have to go into this episode.
Yeah.
I've done no prepreration.
That's good.
I mean, I nearly forgot to bring...
You've got the visual aid, which is always good.
It's, I don't know where to put it. I think
that looked
here.
good, quite good.
I think here, just for now.
For people who are listening to this, Harvey's now put it to the side of him.
Yeah.
Which is of course irrelevant to you for the whole of this. If you are watching, which of course you
really should be.
Then you'll be able to see. So this is all irrelevant. Are these new pens?
Yeah, they work.
Because the last time the pens didn't work.
I think they're whiteboard markers. They could be permanent. But we'll find out.
Okay, well, if they are permanent, we'll just throw the whole board away and we'll just draw it up to sort of just
business expenses.
That's what it is, exactly.
Yeah,
it is tax period. Right. It's going to be another history episode. Harvey, what period of history have you? I know you've said you've done no prep, but you have done some prep.
Sure.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was thinking.
By the way, just irrelevant what you want to do because I'm going to start with mine. So just
sure. All right. Okay. Yeah. Henry VIII.
You know what? We're sort of in the same ball period.
Go on. Ballpark.
Words are my tools.
I know.
Ballpark. Yeah. So I'm going to kick it all off.
Go on.
With the entire 16th century.
16th century. I'm gonna actually write this down because
Do jot that down. Get 16th. Are you going to be one of those like little pricks and put 16 in a big C? Just like how we were taught to do at school.
No, because
you don't subscribe to that sort of formula of education.
I don't believe in it.
Nor should you. So the 16th century. Now, I'm going to open with this. This is what annoys me about the 16th century.
Yeah.
Every single event, and I mean every single event of the 16th century.
Yeah.
All of it begins with the number 15.
Well, yeah, because
that winds me up to no end, and I actually do declare that as being the reason why I don't think I ended up going to Cambridge to read history.
Because you
couldn't get my head around it.
It's just -1.
But why?
Because
I know because it's the year that's coming. Yeah. But it seems so obtuse and just arrogant. And it is
annoying.
I understand.
Just because you're like, the
16th century. So what happened? Well, it began in 15. No. The 16th century should start with 16 something, 16, 16, and then the 17th century is 17, 17, 17.
You mean the same way we do birthdays?
No, I mean the same way we do fucking time.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like when I'm like, let's say you're 20 years old, you're 20 years old, you're not in your 21st year.
Don't give your real age, bro. He was about to say his real age.
Very, very
he was there when they wrote the Magna Carta.
346.
So if you were 20,
you wouldn't say I'm in my 21st year, really.
So why are they doing it there?
Because, and I think when I say this, I speak for all qualified historians.
Of course you do. That's what we are.
Because we've got a history podcast.
Exactly
now.
that. Yeah.
It's a show. We've got producers on it.
Yeah.
We're not.
We've got a whiteboard.
I don't know how much more we need to do.
We don't
to get like accreditation.
Yeah. Where's that blue tick that we? I mean, I don't want one.
No.
But if they're handing them out,
what's the history equivalent of a blue tick? This probably having a show.
Yeah.
There's cameras.
Actually, we can start dishing out the blue ticks to, let's call them brown ticks, because history's brown, obviously.
Yeah.
So brown ticks, we'll hand out some brown ticks to people who we think are worthy of history chat. Also, just to prefix this,
Go on.
we are going to be pretty fast and loose with the facts of history, right? Now, I know that sounds silly, but if you've seen the film Dunkirk by Christopher Nolan, he had, I'm assuming, quite a lot of people on his set talking about history, qualified historians,
boring.
right? And he was still, it's very boring. But he also allowed the set of Dunkirk to have physical buildings. Now, if anyone knows anything about that fucking period of time, that little village was shelled to shit. There wasn't a building upstanding when they got off that beach. It was blown to smithereens. So the very fact that there are buildings standing for them to run and out of have a long tracking shot is fucking nonsense. So if it's good enough for Christopher Nolan, then it's bloody well good enough for us.
Play the legend.
Print the myth, baby.
Print the myth. That's what
Print the myth.
So 16th century.
Yes. To give some context, in 1415, so
that's 15th century,
the Battle of Agincourt has occurred. So that's how far back we're going here. The Battle of Agincourt, no one knows what it is.
What is it?
It's a very, very old battle.
French.
Well, I think it happened in France.
No, but it was with the French.
Oh, everything was with the French.
It's mental, isn't it? They were really
until you get into naval history.
What year is that?
I'm going to be talking a lot about naval history, and the reason why is because if you look at the sea now at nighttime, and you've got radar and big old boats and stuff, isn't it terrifying?
Yeah.
Yeah. The sea's very scary.
Yeah,
right? I'm a nautical man myself.
As a nautical man.
Yeah, I have a boat license and everything.
I actually
Not a proper one, a motorboat, like a stop and go. Do you know what I mean? Because I had to rent a dinghy out in France, and they were just like, do you have a motor? Oh, fine, let's do the course.
I actually have a sailing license.
Oh, get out then. With the ropes and stuff. You're so the kind of bloke who knows how to use ropes and knots, aren't you?
I know how to use ropes and knots.
So how do you have a sailing license? I'm never going on a boat captain by you. I'm saying here officially, not happening.
But I am the captain.
Well, obviously, if you're part of the vessel, Harvey, then you're the captain. Every boat I get on, if I get on a pedalo, I'm the captain of that vessel.
You have to be. Yeah.
Starboard.
Yeah. Port. Yeah. Starboard and port. They're the main ones. And then the bow.
Yeah.
And the stern. We're just going to be naming nautical terms. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be talking about a man called Sir Francis Drake. Now, that sounds like a lovely man. Sir. Oh, Francis Drake. Now, Francis Drake wasn't as much of a piece of shit as Christopher Columbus, but by Joe, was he not a friendly chap? Jot that down.
I'll jot that down.
Jot down Francis Drake, and then sort of go like sort of a wiggly face, like, ooh, did a lot, also was definitely a pirate. But Queen Elizabeth I really liked the guy.
Wanker. Like, and that's official now. He can't get back from that.
Yeah, you've blackened his name. He circumnavigated the globe in a boat in the 16th century in 1577.
The Golden Hind,
which was very well done. Which was about 50 years after Magellan had done it. Right. So I know what you're thinking. Well, it's already been done. I know it's safe. It's still like the colossal task of what he was doing to go in a couple boats around the world and down the African Cape. It's terrifying what he's done here. Yeah. And I just wanted to say that I think that's pretty incredible. Now, here's where we get on to some of that's his good stuff, by the way.
Get that out of the way early.
Get that out of the way early.
Yeah.
Right. He unfortunately basically invented the slave trade in around 1560.
Oh, that's...
Now, there were known to be slaves of African descent in the New World at around 1502. So he didn't completely invent it, but he
used slaves to build the pyramids.
Well, yeah, but different kind of slave.
Different sort.
Different.
Sort.
I mean, slavery's always been going through history, but he really sort of brought it to England, basically, and was like, so let's get on this. So that's definitely... all joking aside.
How did he proposition that? He was like, he came back with like a boat full of people and was like, look, I've solved a lot of issues that we're going to have. And the Queen was like, it would have been Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
Elizabeth would have been like, cool, because we're trying to build a few cathedrals. And he's like, nailed it. Trust me, nailed it. Got loads of these lads. They want to help out. And she's like, they want what for?
Well, they're keen to help.
They're keen. Yeah, keen as mustard. Yeah, keen as mustard. How can we afford this, Francis? Well,
actually,
if they are volunteers,
I do want to just steer away from us laughing about slavery, though.
I'm not laughing about. It's not a laughing matter.
It's jovial. So we sound jovial.
Okay, well, I'm trying to explain.
It's always important to remember these conversations as if they're being read back to you in court. And
That is a good point.
this one, Matt chuckled at, not
No,
great.
you don't want that. You don't want that sort of stage direction.
We
do you?
don't love it.
We do. Okay, so I can do it with a stern face.
No, we've said enough about it.
Okay.
He was nicknamed the Dragon. And the Spanish, but on the other side of the world, so now probably modern day Mexicans, they believed him to be able to be a witch because he was able to predict where other ships were around him. That's all the research I'm going to do on that. I'm going to assume that they were right, and he did have some sort of magical powers as to find out where their ships were.
Do you know what I think?
Go on.
Francis Drake.
Yeah.
I think. Did he do any of that, or did he just have a really good team of people
PR team
around him,
Hype.
and they did it, and he just took the credit?
Sort of like D12 and Eminem.
Exactly, or like,
proof.
or like anyone, right? Do you know what I mean? Like I think Francis Drake, he probably was just born from a noble family, had a bit of cash, employed very smart like ship commanders and stuff, and nautical experts.
Yeah,
and he just sat in his cabin eating fish and chips. Whilst they're fucking out there doing it.
Unfortunately, I do like that idea.
I like it.
He was, whether he was good or not at navigation, he was a monster, and he didn't, when he sacked all these cities, he tried to find a northern passage through what is basically Canada, and turns out there isn't one, dickhead. So he had to just go back down the way he came. So he's gone up sort of modern day California, sacking cities, going, fucking have you. 6 months later, gone, boys, you're never going to guess what? What? Northern Passage, we have to go back down. What? Back down the place we've just raped, pillaged and plundered? Yeah. He didn't do that. He didn't go back down because he knew they'd just fucking destroy him when they see his ship with his big old English flag at the back. So he went across the Pacific Ocean for... Imagine
Did he go to America?
Imagine going for fucking like 3 months without seeing land. No, he ended up at Japan.
Oh,
he went back the other way. Can you imagine how terrifying that is? Because if you go back down that way, all of the modern day Mexicans are going to fucking murder you.
Yeah.
Plus, you're about like 14,000 kilos heavier because you've got all of this gold that you've sacked from people. He also made no inventory on his boats because...
Mistake.
No.
I know that. I've just done my tax return.
Mistake, because if he'd written it down, when he got back to the UK, they'd been like, how much gold do you have? Right, that's taxing. So he literally did it. He was the first massive tax evader. So he got back there, how much gold is that? It's like, about 8. 8 what? 8 gold?
So it's him, Jimmy Carr, bastards, avoiding tax.
Both getting hair transplants, no doubt, with that money. Oh,
You've seen the paintings of Sir Francis Drake.
Bastards.
He's got a widow's peak.
Bastard.
And that wasn't even fashionable in the Victorian era.
So that's sort of the main thing that really happened in the 16th century was Francis Drake. He got knighthood at the back of it because he, gave a lot of money to Queen Elizabeth. If that's how you get knighthoods, Jimmy Savile did it. Anyway, a lot.
Well, we're not. I don't want to talk about.
We're not again. Not again. So another thing that happened was the 1666, the Great Fire of London. That in itself is quite boring, but
Samuel Pepys' diary.
Don't know what that is. Don't care what that is. Only 8 people died in the Great Fire of London, which everyone bangs on about being like, it wasn't that bad. It was amazing. That's only because they didn't have any record of life. So no one knew how many people died. So they went 6 noble people died because they're like, How many people died in your house?
Yeah.
1, my grandfather burned to death. That's terrible. So Jimmy, I'm so sorry that you're... And then they went down the road and they went, in this hut of 3,000 people, how many people dead? All of us. Well, you're not actually registered to just a 1 Joan action. Is Joan alive? Yeah, Joan is alive, but she was no death. No one's dead.
They knocked on Sir Francis Drake's house. Like, Francis, have you lost anyone? Nah, I'm all good.
No, I lost about 8 million in gold though.
But Francis, you had didn't you? Those lads that you brought over to help build the cathedrals. What happened to them?
What lads?
No, I didn't have any
lads.
Yeah. I thought you had 4,000.
You're chatting shit, mate, and I'm really friendly with the Queen. So if I was you, I'd just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. 4,000 volunteers though, didn't you have, Francis?
But Monument. The monument at Monument in town in London, that was built to commemorate the Great Fire of London, and unfortunately more people have committed suicide off of that than officially died in the Great Fire of London. 16 people have taken their lives by jumping off of that or falling off of that.
16?
Yep. And so it is sort of a 50-50 case of like that's actually caused more deaths than the Great Fire of London. My last fact before I let you rattle on about something, which is going to be, what's your topic?
I was going to say Henry VIII, but it's what I was going to.
That's a low hanging fruit.
It is, but it is participatory.
Harvey, I'm going to ask you a question. Why, and you know the answer of it, but I need you to be like, why, Matt? So ask it back to me when I ask it.
Yeah, go for it.
Harvey, why are pubs in London so fucking goddamn old? Why are they all so old? Why are they all around 1668 when they were established? Why are they so old?
Why are they?
Glad you asked, Harvey. Because when they were rebuilding London, they needed somewhere for the workmen to go. Pubs. So they built pubs first. So they've basically got people to go, guys, we need to rebuild London here. They go, that's a fucking big task. They go, it is a huge task, Andrew. Huge task. And I want you and your men on it.
Yeah, get on it.
And they go, well, where are we going to hang out? Sorry? Where are we going to hang out when we... I can't... Oh, well, we could do the pubs first. So they built the pubs first.
Oh.
So they'd go and do a day's labour. Knock, 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 banging stuff together.
Excuse me.
Quitting time.
Yeah.
Let's get to the boozer. So they built just like 17
Do you know who was the main architect of
Christopher Wren.
Sir Christopher Wren.
And we're lucky Wren did get it and not that French bloke, because if it wasn't Wren, the reason why London's so higgledy-piggledy,
yeah,
we love it. It's all just like nooks and crannies.
I do love it.
Oh, mate, it's a complete mess to get around Soho. I love it though.
Yeah.
And in the city of London, especially around Westminster and stuff, you got to go through tunnels and all the rest of it, because they want to turn it into a grid. They want to turn it into New York.
Like Glasgow.
Is Glasgow a grid?
It is a grid system. They film a lot of American movies in Glasgow for that reason. So,
really?
Law-abiding citizen.
Oh yeah,
famously shot in Glasgow. It doubles for Philadelphia.
He would have loved that.
He fucking loved it, didn't he?
With Gerard Butler.
Like, I won't do the accent. No, you have to do the accent actually.
But I'm home.
No, Jerry.
Jez.
You have to. You have to. You're not a Scottish man in this movie. Forget. Why are you wearing a kilt, Jerry?
Get that off.
Get the kilt off. Well, put the pants on first, then get the kilt off.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see you. Oh, Jerry. Okay, you've ruined it now. We're going to have HR down here in a minute, Jerry.
Yeah.
And they're going to kick off.
Yeah.
Do the accent.
I can't imagine there being a very prominent HR department on a Gerard Butler movie in 2006.
No, it was the Wild West.
But it was the Wild West out there. He may as well have had the same rules applied to him as Francis Drake.
Probably.
Because he's just doing whatever he wants.
Circumnavigating the globe.
Doing whatever he wanted. That is, unfortunately...
Christopher Wren.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Wren.
Just, I've got another little thing. When he was building St Paul's Cathedral, there's a pub near St Paul's Cathedral called the Ye Olde Watling.
Oh, yeah. One
of my favourite pubs.
You surprised me. You're a man who likes pubs.
Well, we'll give it away. Be gentle. And that pub he built that whilst he was building.
As a bit of a side.
As well, just as a place that he could work from.
Yeah.
Christopher, I know your game. Yeah. 5 pints a night, was it? And that's why, St Paul's Cathedral is a bit odd.
Why is it? No, that's pretty amazing.
It's pretty, but it's weird, isn't it? Because he's drunk.
Okay. Well, jot that down. Say that you get that Christopher Wren is a drunk who barely managed to contain his alcoholism to build.
Also.
Yep.
Also, it is worth noting.
Go on.
We talked about can't slag people off.
We mustn't.
Libel.
Does it count if they're dead?
If they're dead, it doesn't matter.
Christopher Wren was a drunk.
And also, that is fact now. Because
it's on the board in what may or may not be permanent marker.
I don't know. I don't want to find out.
I don't want to find out yet. Let's ride the wave.
So, what I have brought to the table, and I've just said Henry VIII, which is not...
They also started the Mona Lisa. He started the Mona Lisa in about 1503. I wanted to give some context as to... Well, I mainly read... Those are the facts of the 16th century, but I wanted to make it known that, Sarge Drake was a real fucking piece of shit.
It's probably a nonce as well.
Well...
If Michael Jackson was, do you know what I mean? Right? And Michael Jackson had a sliver of power compared to Sir Francis Drake. He was buddying up with the Queen.
So you're saying that everyone is basically a closet nonce up until they get the point of power and then they go, right, I'm noncing.
I reckon so, yeah. I reckon that once you get that level of fame and power, you're like, I'm bored of everything else.
Yeah.
Let's push the boat out a bit.
to children.
Noncery, yeah.
Crumbs.
Yeah. I mean,
the podcast is taking a turn.
it's taken a dive, but look, yeah, I think front straight, nonce, drunk,
very brave man.
brave man
to go change your tune so quickly.
Brave man.
To go out and to go out on the open sea. I think it was pretty amazing. I think nautical.
You got all those volunteers.
All those. Stop saying this. Stop saying this.
Stop.
Are there? Well, so okay. Go on. Tell me about. Tell everyone. Tell our lovely listeners.
Yeah.
About someone they already know fucking loads about.
You know what? I bet they don't. I bet they don't. Everyone thinks Henry VIII. They think
that's me now locking my phone because that's all the facts that I have.
Oh, you even okay?
Yeah, I wrote it down. I prep. Harvey, if I don't prep this show, you think bringing a whiteboard and permanent markers is going to be enough? It isn't.
It is sadly. No. So Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Everyone always thinks when you think of Henry VIII, you think of this like kind of bit of a bastard, right? That killed all of his wives.
Just normally the
right. That's the first thing he's remembered for. Right?
And it seems fair enough.
Pretty fair. Pretty fair. But, however, but when he was a young man,
no, he was a handsome bloke.
He was a handsome athlete.
Yeah, he was.
Very athlete, and then he had a jousting accident.
Yes.
That left him unconscious for 3 days.
What?
Unconscious. People clicking and like putting cigarettes out on him, and he just was like out, right?
Headers.
Yeah, like head.
Stop whacking about, mate.
Henry. No, seriously, you've had your fun.
Henry, you're the king of England.
No, this is you need to get up because we've got
you die.
Yeah, we've got your yeoman outside knocking at the door.
We've got to figure out who comes next.
Yeah, Henry, you haven't got any airs, Henry.
He wakes up on
Please
a Thursday.
wake up.
Fucking what?
Yeah, what happened? And then after that, he struggled with his weight.
They said that he was different. Well,
and he was different.
No, so I thought not to call you a cunt on your own podcast, Harvey. I thought that the brain issue. I didn't know he was unconscious for 3 days. That's astonishing.
Yeah.
I thought that the reason why he got fat and gained weight was because he got like a hunting accident.
Jousting.
And he couldn't, I know jousting, but it means that he couldn't run around so much. It was a physical thing. The brain thing made him a bit doodaddy, what's up crazy.
Yeah. I think he got like sepsis or something as well.
Right.
From it.
Right. That would do it.
Yeah, and then but he was big on hunting, he was big on jousting, he was big on all this stuff. He was like athlete, he was like, loving it.
Married his dead brother's wife.
Don't do that. And
then, it was fucked up. He opened with that.
Do you know what though?
That was his first.
Do you know what? That happens. That happens quite often.
Not anymore, hopefully.
No.
No, really.
Well, I was watching. You know, and this might alarm you.
Go on.
You know, I do a bit of like rock climbing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Please, we'd love to hear all about your rock climbing, Harvey.
Well, it's not about my rock climbing, but there's a mountaineer called Conrad Anker, who is a famous mountaineer.
Yeah.
And he married the wife of his dead mate who died on a trip with him.
Dead mates, that's not too mental.
It's weird though, isn't it?
The wife of your dead mate, they bond over the grief, and it's in modern day.
Yeah.
It's
odd.
Definitely, it's notable. It's definitely notable.
Yeah. I'm just saying. So anyway, Henry VIII. He married his brother's.
His brother is in line for the throne. He actually becomes king, and he's older than him, obviously, because he's first in line.
Yeah.
And he marries Catherine Parr. You don't know, do you?
Is that Catherine of Arable?
Sake. No. Well, no. I think her name's Catherine Parr. Which one's the one that survives?
Not Bloody Mary.
Thank you for joining us on our history podcast.
No, we're going to get through the wives in a minute. We'll get to the wives in a minute.
Well, anyway, the first wife, she's already a bit older because she's married an older guy, right?
Sure.
The brother dies somehow. It's not relevant. And they go, Henners, do you fancy a bit of that? Sorry? Have a crack on that?
Do you fancy a bit of that?
Well,
yes or no, Henry?
Can't I just get my own wife? No, because the thing is, her family is basically the entirety of Spain.
Yeah.
And that's very much keeping the wolf at the door right now.
Yeah, because they're going to be coming for us.
And we did promise her a kingdom. And if we neglect on that now, we might not get a mortgage.
Yeah.
We'll be an oath breaker.
Yeah.
So, marry her better. And,
you want to be in the red, never in the black, Henry.
Definitely.
It's be in the red, never the black, Henry.
I think don't you want to be in the black, not the red?
You want to be in the black, Henry, never the red, Henry. Because if you're in the red, then it's bad. But also Tudor, what colour is a Tudor rose? Red though, no?
Okay.
It's confusing.
Yeah. Anyway, he married his brother's wife.
Right, okay. So this is as a young man.
And then when he was still fit and healthy.
Yeah.
Got bored of her quick time, as you would.
Of course,
he's he's King Henry.
Strapped up, isn't he?
He's cool and all the rest of it. And she's
6'2",
dwindling, old. And he's big boy.
Big boy.
For the time, he would have been a fucking giant.
Yeah.
I'm 6'3" now, and I'm considered tall.
Yeah. He was like a really big athlete.
Yeah. And so he not to again call you a cunt at your own dinner party, but does she? He divorces her, I'm assuming?
She'll feature in the we'll get to the wives in a minute.
The little rapey rhyme. Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived.
Well,
that's dead air.
That's dead air. No, well,
do that.
Well, no. If you're watching, it's not dead air because what I'm doing is very, very visual.
Ostracising the listeners.
Exactly.
Smart move, Harvey.
Exactly.
Love it.
Every time.
She loved the focus.
Exactly. We'll get to his wives in a minute, but when he was a young man, everyone thinks of Henry as this big bastard.
Yes,
because he's in the paintings.
Why do they allow so many paintings? He's the king. Why don't you just be like, oi, like, even I'll face tune my headshots now. I'll be like, take those cheeks in a little bit.
Maybe it was because it was fashionable to be a bit overweight because it meant it signified that you're wealthy.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Also, and pale,
not to be out working in the field.
Yeah, don't want to be in the field.
So people would sort of think that you're pretty poor because you're ripped, but fucking wealthy
because I'm very milky at the moment.
At the moment, you're quite pale.
At the moment, yeah.
But it works for you.
Look, I'm starting it out. But I do model a lot of my looks on sort of Tudor England.
You're nailing it.
I'm nailing it.
You're good at it.
So everyone thinks of him as this bastard, but he was loved by the people.
Yeah, why?
Because he was the first king really that thought I need to have the love of the peasant population and the people. So he was a big eater, a big feaster, and he'd put like banquets on at Hampton Court Palace, and they'd have all these food carts brought in. But he said, if I'm eating like this, then everyone in the country has to eat like this. So he would send food out.
That doesn't sound at all like the Henry I know.
Yeah, I know. Well, exactly. But he was doing a lot of this behind your back. He didn't tell you. He was just doing it. And also, it's like he's like the anti Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah, okay.
Because he didn't. When Henry did a good deed, he didn't have his cameramen around him.
So he was sort of like the modern day George Michael.
Yeah, exactly that.
Doing loads and loads of charity, and then George Michael very sadly dies, and then they just go, oh, he gave so much charity. He didn't want you to know that.
I know.
He wanted just to fucking do it, and everyone just reap the rewards. Don't fucking. They shouldn't. You can tell I get quite irate about that. I think it's very unfair to have announced just how much money's charity. I think
exactly.
And didn't want to tell people, and neither did Henry.
And neither do I.
So the moment, no,
and neither do you.
Listen. I won't reveal how much money you keep giving to charity.
I won't with you either.
Thanks, man.
That's just the deal that we have. So yeah, he gave a lot of the food to the populace and the people that work for him.
Would have made him popular.
The people that work for him is yeomen.
Yep.
They were incredibly. It's an incredibly sought after job, particularly if you worked in, let's say you were a yeoman in the palace.
Yeah.
Because then you could travel across anywhere in England and be like, I worked in the palace. It's almost like having an amazing CV before CVs existed. So in a way, did Henry VIII invent the curriculum vitae, the CV? Probably he did.
And I bet he wouldn't have freaked out if it wasn't all perfectly spelt and on a sheet of A4.
No, well, I think he.
What are you jotting down there?
I'm writing Henry VIII.
Yeah, good guy. Well, split it up. Say Henry VIII before the head bang.
Invented the CV.
That's a fact.
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm writing it down.
Then it becomes fact.
Yeah. Cool. Henry VIII invented the CV. I don't know why I've changed colour, just for fun, really.
Yeah. Well, it shows what's yours and what's mine.
Yeah. That's such a good point. Yeah.
And Christopher N was technically
sort of both of ours.
Both, yeah. So put it in red. Put it as yours. You claim it.
Yeah, I will claim it. Now I thought, what would be a good exercise? So he got in a jousting accident, bashed his head.
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah. Can you imagine being the chap who did it to him?
Shitting it. Like, Henry's got to come round.
Knocked him on the head, right? And going, sit down, Eric. You're in a tricky spot here, boy, because either, Henry's he's a pretty happy-go guy. He's a pretty chill dude.
He's nice, actually.
He's a really nice guy. So he's probably going to be fine if he wakes up in the next sort of 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Any longer than that, you might have killed the King of England, in which case it's the town.
You're done.
You're finished.
You're finished.
The worst possible case scenario for this Eric for you is if it would never happened before, probably never happened. He wakes up in 3.5 days from now, a completely different person.
Yeah.
Doesn't remember his kind-natured history.
No.
And just, what does he end up doing?
He does sort of murder a lot of women. that we know of as well. So the ones
Eric's fine.
Yeah. And Eric's like, what, hey, what? Sorry,
Just women.
just
Yeah.
women.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, Eric.
That was
yeah.
bloody close.
Yeah, Eric.
Oh.
Eric, careful though.
Yeah,
Careful though.
watch-
Don't laugh that loud because you might wake him up.
And it echoes.
It does echo in here because these are big Tudor buildings, aren't they? They're very, very, very big, and we've built them for that purpose, for acoustics, because Henry does have a booming voice.
Yeah, don't want to get murdered in the night.
But yeah, Eric, stay. I would stay. I wouldn't leave the country. Let's not leave town, Eric. Stay put. Hey,
Stay within arm's reach.
yeah, stay put, Eric. Let's on his wives.
Yeah.
I think this would be a fun thing to do.
I hope so.
Because obviously, as keen historians,
Yeah.
you and I,
Yeah.
Matt Bentley, Harvey Quinn, keen historians.
Correct.
I don't want to go out on a limb here, but I think OBE at some point, maybe at some point, because of our contribution to history.
Yeah.
Like I said this to you earlier, didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Awarded a BAFTA. I don't want an Oscar. I don't want a Golden Globe.
No.
What I want is my work to be in the British Museum.
Yeah.
I want my work cultural significance.
The listener viewer, I've explained to him that that's not how that works.
No, it will. Do you know how it happens?
Tell them.
This is the way that I'll get in the. But I will have to somehow come to power, somehow, and then I'll make a push for another country, and I will take over that other country, and then in that country, over the next sort of 50 years, we'll develop our own sort of society and culture and art. And then that will go on for a few hundred years, and then they'll be like, yeah, he started that, Harvey Quinn. He's in the British Museum, or whatever the country is renamed at that point. Anyway, so Henry VIII, he had 7 wives.
Yeah. I thought it was 6.
I thought it was 7.
Divorced, beheaded, survived.
Yeah.
Divorced, beheaded, survived. 6 wives. Henry VIII and the famous 6 wives.
For fuck's sake. Okay,
Don't say it like that's like throwing your calculations out of whack. Like that's going to change it completely.
It's changed the entire dynamic of this.
Well,
this
you're
exercise.
the fucking idiot. You're the only person on the planet who thought that Henry VIII had 7 wives.
Okay, well, look, we'll name them.
I can't.
Well, no,
Anne
you're a
Boleyn.
historian.
Anne
Okay, well,
Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn is the first beheaded.
Anne Boleyn.
Yeah, and she. Why did she get murdered?
Tart.
No. Well, the official reason is treason. Put down everything.
Treason.
Everything is treason. Everything's treason.
Well, no, but what was the real? Let's find out the real reason. I reckon
She was basically. I don't know.
I think because he got jealous.
He did get jealous.
I think he was a jealous man.
She was out shagging. She was out shagging.
Do you think?
She was out shagging.
Do you reckon?
I
Fair
think it's
play
just,
to her.
okay, so she comes along divorced. So to be fair, she's only the second. No, divorced, beheaded.
He divorced her, but then did he kill her?
He didn't divorce Anne Boleyn.
So he beheaded her.
Yeah.
She.
I think Anne Boleyn's the second wife. I think, bro.
Okay, well, look, we'll get there.
I think she was the first to be beheaded.
Treason. Head.
Don't write head.
Head off.
Okay.
Head off.
Should we know which order? It's important. I'll tell you this is why it's important. If you're Anne Boleyn, right, and you're the first person to have head off,
Yeah.
right, then and you've been shagging about and putting yourself about the palace a little bit,
Yeah.
then that's an easy mistake to make. You didn't know he was going to go so whaps up dough and chop your fucking head off, right?
Yeah, chill
if
out,
she's
Henry.
the second one to get her head chopped off, then be careful.
Be careful.
Don't, Anne. Someone should have gone. Anne, you've been shagging about, yeah, of course.
You know, Henry.
He for nothing.
He's not been normal since that jousting accident.
Wait, what jousting accident? Oh, you don't know? Oh God, Anne,
Well,
sit down.
Okay, look, sit down, Anne. He's got a bit of a temper.
He can over anything.
Yeah.
Just it's part of the pun. Lose his head.
Sure. I've been treading on eggshells now for 14 years.
I'm terrified of it, man.
It's
You seem like you're laughing at all those jokes. Well, if you don't laugh, Anne.
Don't laugh, yeah.
If you don't laugh, he'll take you then.
yeah. It's incredibly.
So
stressful,
listen, because we're not allowed to Google whilst being on the show.
No.
This is live radio.
This is live.
Then we'll just have to speculate wildly whether she was the
Anne
first
Boleyn.
or the second.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Catherine Parr, her name.
Catherine Parr.
And then Catherine of Aragon? Or is Catherine of Aragon Catherine Parr?
Catherine Parr. Catherine of Aragorn.
I think it's with a K, bro.
Kathy.
You know what? I am going to Google it.
No. I'm not having it. I'm not allowing it. I'm not allowing it.
Okay,
Catherine
well, you can't name the other ones.
of Aragorn. Aragon?
Aragon.
As in like Lord of the Rings Aragon?
Yep.
Is that where he got the
exact
name
same.
from?
That's where.
That's mental, isn't it? Just stealing. Tolkien. Fuck off. Thieving.
Yeah. Do you know any of the others?
Yeah.
Go on. I'm googling it.
No.
Harvey.
Mary, Queen of Scots.
No,
that's different.
That's his daughter.
How about there's another one?
No, there isn't. Well, there are. But
Okay, yeah. Well, there's 3 more at least.
I'm going to find
At
out.
least no, we're not because I'm gonna go for it.
No, you're not.
No, I am.
You're gonna come up with
Catherine of Aragon,
You just-
Anne Boleyn. We've written.
You can't keep just saying. Okay.
One begins with an S. I think one begins with an S.
No, shut up.
Shirley. I'm writing Shirley.
8th wives. Okay, this is going to take no time at all, and we're just going to. Here we go.
Shirley.
Okay, Catherine of Aragon, correct. Anne Boleyn was the second, which meant that it's not
That's
really her fault that
Catherine of Aragon.
she got her head chopped off. That's not really her fault.
Catherine Aragon is the
She
first.
didn't know that he was going to fucking go mental. Jane Seymour.
Jane. That sounds like a made-up name.
Jane Seymour's a modern actor now who's super hot. She's the older actor who's in fucking Wedding Crashers. She plays the mum in Wedding Crashers. So hot. She's like super old as well. Anne of Cleves. When can I get a mat of West? A mat of. I want an of. Can we? Catherine Howard, who sounds like she's in Take That, and then Catherine Parr is the last one who survived.
A lot of Katies.
He has a thing for the K, doesn't he?
Jesus.
Well, actually, there's Catherine and Catherine. There's Catherine with a K, Catherine with a C, and then Catherine with a K again.
Anne Boleyn is not Anne of Cleves.
No, Anne Boleyn's Anne Boleyn, bruv.
All right. Now, just to educate you.
Yeah, no, you're not educating me on anything at this point. You are fucking dialed out of this. But go on, I'll let you think. Yeah.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, yeah. Well,
To educate you.
Well, they will need the help. Yeah.
Well, you're going to need to help.
They don't know
Well,
what's
you're going to
going
need. Yeah, look, we're going to tell you all about these women. We're going to tell you all about these women. So Anne Boleyn, Catherine Parr, Catherine Aragon, Anne of Cleves. Who are the other 2?
Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour. That doesn't
You're
sound
in the
real.
wrong order, bruv. Jane Seymour's third.
Seymour Butts.
No, that's not what this show is.
No, I know.
That's not what
Jane.
this is.
Who's the last one?
Fucking Catherine Parr, bruv.
I've written Catherine
No,
Parr.
just because there's 6 names there, bruv. You
There's
put them in the wrong
1,
order.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm going to say this one more time and one more time only because it's going to annoy this. This was the kind of shit that would annoy me if I was listening to this, okay? Catherine of Aragon.
Yep.
Anne Boleyn.
Yep.
Jane Seymour.
Yep.
Anne of Cleves.
Yep.
Catherine Howard is the one you have
Catherine
written down.
Howard,
It sounds
that's
like
it.
she can take that.
Yeah, that's a stupid one. No one knows who Catherine Howard
Well,
is.
divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded. Catherine Howard gets her head chopped.
I'll be honest now.
Yeah.
That is in completely the wrong order, and I've just confused myself even further by putting. Okay, I tell you what. The order doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, okay. The main thing is, can we discuss Catherine Howard? The second
We sure
one,
can.
The second one to get her head chopped off.
She got second one.
That is reckless. Anyone who is now.
I
at this
respect
point-
it.
No, Catherine Howard, she's rocked up and he's gone through 1, 2, 3, 4 wives at this point. 4 wives.
And she's the 5th.
She's the 5th wife.
Catherine Howard.
Catherine Howard's the 5th wife, right? Tread carefully.
Yeah, she's not though, is she?
She's gallivanting around the
Yeah,
gaff.
I know.
Bearing in mind, I've only learned her name about 10 minutes ago.
She's got a hip flask in at all times.
She is sipping
know.
from the bottle, man.
Yeah, she'll go out with her girls and they'll be like, how's it going at home? She's like, yeah, it's
Henry's-
easy.
Henry's-
Whoa.
It can't be easy.
What do you mean?
No.
No.
What?
Yes, yeah, Henry's chill, isn't he?
Howard,
He isn't.
Howard, sit down. You can't be Henry VIII. Yeah, you're Henry. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not easy.
No, famously.
John, my old man, he works for him. He says he's awful.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, don't go tell him that. No, I'm going to tell him.
Yeah, no. Also, my mate David, he got a bit of contractor work for Henry about 6 months ago, and Henry ended up beating him to death with a spade.
That is hilarious, and I forgot to laugh genuinely because I was just focusing on this.
I forgot to laugh. Were
really.
you listening? Yeah, you said words,
And
didn't
it was
you?
really funny. He only had 3 kids.
Yeah, they're all
I
sickly.
think the problem lay with Henry in terms of the shagging.
Well, he's the common denominator. Yeah, he didn't have any heirs.
No, he didn't.
He invented a new religion to get divorced.
Yeah, I know, that's fucking...
C of E, Church of England.
That is wild. Can I tell you something recently? This is about a couple of years ago.
Sure.
And I'm in my 30s. So
Yeah.
to context this. Someone asked me, they were like, what religion are you? And I'm now Jewish. But back then I was I was Church of England, but I didn't know that. I was sat in this pub in a very public
But then
pub,
you're not.
And I was just like, I think think I'm Protestant.
Oh God.
And the table went a bit quiet. They're like, what? And I was like, I'm not Catholic, so I must be Protestant. I can't even say it.
What does that mean?
And they were like, Matt, sorry, everyone talking among themselves. Matt, what the hell are you? They took me like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, isn't it split in Christianity, either one or the other? And then my mate Henry was like, who's a doctor? Aren't you Church of England? And I had to go back. The conversation on the table had moved on, but I had to go back to the table. Sorry, everyone, can we turn?
You understand though that
yeah,
being Christian or whatever
Yeah.
is more of a. It's not. You can't be I'm Christian without knowing if you, like, unless you go to you have to be practicing. You can't just be. It's not like you're.
what?
Yeah, it's not like I guess like Judaism is basically kind of the lines between
Well, no, Judaism
like race and religion are blurred.
Very tricky.
Yeah, you're sort of born Jewish.
That's it.
But Catholicism or Christianity isn't like that. So it's a practicing religion. It's the same as like you're not really born Muslim. You're not born Buddhist. It's something that you would adopt in your belief system.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't, if someone's like, what are you? You might have been baptized C of E when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Just like because I think I got baptized C of E when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't describe myself as a Christian because I don't believe.
See,
in
I do
Jesus.
believe, but that's
That's different.
I think it's something to history. Do you think Jesus was a real person?
There's no eyewitness accounts of him that.
Let's not get into eyewitness accounts, bruv. That's
Well, so let me. So Jesus probably was a real person, but all of the accounts of him. So, for instance, Pontius Pilate that's mentioned in the Bible
Yeah.
as a Roman leader, there's no real record of Pontius Pilate outside of the Bible. And Romans did they were fucking
They're meticulous.
really annoyingly pedantic.
They
weren't
wrote a lot down.
They wrote down loads.
Invented plumbing.
I know it's meant to, and yeah, loads of that shit. And they like squares, didn't they? Straight lines as well.
They love straight lines.
They loved a straight line.
I think Jesus was a real person, and he was a bit of a trickster, and sort of just basically
Like a Darren Brown.
basically a modern day Darren Brown, a past day Darren Brown.
Yeah.
And just took it too far, and everyone was like, there. And you know how like Homer in the Iliad,
Yeah.
right? They're spoken about, and somewhere in history, someone just went, that Achilles stuff was that bollocks, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Took it too far.
With the Achilles stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Achilles, yeah.
And eventually they just went, no, they're just stories. They're just stories.
Yeah.
The Jesus one, they went, you know that stuff like the water and the wine stuff? That fact?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know talking about the Odyssey and the Iliad?
You know what? I've got you off the hook here because you know nothing about Henry VIII.
Oh, we're going back to it.
Okay.
I know loads about Henry VIII.
Okay.
I know loads about, and we're gonna tell the listeners and viewers,
Yeah.
about Henry VIII. But speaking of the Iliad and the Odyssey,
Yeah.
Homer.
Yeah.
Homer might not. We talked about
Homer wasn't a real person.
Homer, what he
was hundreds of campfires.
Yeah,
over
story.
the Greek islands
It's
over hundreds of years.
Yeah, verbal stories being told. But I don't know. They don't know who would have brought it all into effectively one book and Homer under the name Homer.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, that's really interesting.
Just to tie back to Shakespeare, Sir Francis Drake is rumoured to have not Sir Francis Drake, Sir Walter Raleigh.
So Walter Raleigh,
he was rumoured to have written almost all of Shakespeare's works. Shakespeare didn't exist.
He did exist.
Yeah, the same way that Jesus existed, just wasn't this like Jesus, like, you know, he didn't write all those plays, bruv. There's no way.
Do you not reckon?
No, and we're not going to go cover round because we already discussed it. You want to hear that podcast and me rattling on about that? Go check out the episode.
Yeah, and it is an episode.
And they are episodes.
And they are, and it is a show.
And this is a show.
So Catherine Howard,
Yeah.
she fucked up, didn't she? Because she had all the warning signs.
Lots of warning signs.
A lot of warning signs.
The winner here, the winner
Who's the one?
is Catherine Parr, who you've put second, who's actually last.
Why is she a winner?
Because she survives.
But what would you class as surviving?
Doesn't get murdered, doesn't get divorced.
But surely her name was Mud after that.
No, because he died.
He died. What happened to her?
She's the doting widow.
Was she a doting widow?
Yeah, of course, bruv, of course.
She would have had to.
You're not going to turn around and be like, thank God he's gone.
Yeah,
you
you're like,
go,
what? Sorry, what? Catherine? Parr? Have a seat.
Yeah,
We need to, just before you leave this room.
Do not be slagging off him.
Yeah, you sit in an open casket.
Great man. Great.
Let's just reinforce that.
Got a lot done. Didn't he destroy a lot of churches? Destroyed a lot of churches. Great man.
Great man. Yeah.
You know what I do feel bad about? Sometimes in history, it's like, what point do we get where we sort of, things are so old that you sort of you dehumanize them? So this is a genuine
Yeah.
thing. Take the whole show in a different course here.
Sure.
And we're laughing. I'm laughing. I'm finding this very funny. Talking about Anne Boleyn getting her head chopped off. She was a real person. She was a real person who's about 22 years old who got fucking just her head chopped off. I think it's brutal, mate.
Yeah.
I don't even think like the actual history of the people actually.
Yeah,
Like, you
it's
hear about these
fucking
people.
horrendous.
Like Sir Walter Raleigh got his head chopped off for nothing.
Most
Literally,
people got their head chopped off for nothing.
like death. Do you reckon it was like just? And his last words apparently, Sir Walter Raleigh, was "Is thou nervous? Swing, swing, man, swing." As in, because the executioner was there with his axe.
oh yeah, he's like, hurry up, mate, you bastard.
Yeah, no, and he,
Get on with
basically
it.
that whole crowd and him, everyone knew that Sir Walter Raleigh shouldn't have his head chopped off because of treason. Again, everything was treason because what he
Yeah.
had done, he just pissed off Elizabeth basically,
Sure.
marginally.
Yeah, yeah.
And
We've seen Blackadder.
and
She
he
was
was
a bit
like,
weird.
just swing, man, swing. What are you waiting for? Go for it. Now,
Yeah.
is that because people just didn't fear death as much?
No, you would have feared death, but that happens a lot. Like I looked into famous last words from a lot of people,
Yeah.
and a lot of there was a famous serial killer in America who was getting the electric chair, and the person
Just do it.
no, he says
Nike slogan, that's where it comes
he said get on with it, man. I could have killed 10 people while you're fumbling around already. That was his last words. Which
My
is
favourite one
horrendous.
is another man on death row, just about to walk the Green Mile, and he said, it's actually in a movie. I don't know whether it's true or not, but
Probably.
I do this a lot. Die the way you lived. All of a sudden, don't drag it out.
Yeah,
That was nice.
I did drag it out when I was born, though, I think. Probably. Knowing
You
me. Knowing
would
me.
drag out your death
I'm going to.
so ridiculously.
I'm going to.
Can't.
David Bowie did. He wrote a whole fucking album about it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that,
Okay.
probably.
Now get back. I want to see you fall apart, not knowing anything, because I knew everything for the listener and the viewer.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, right? Whilst I didn't nail my category.
Yeah.
I gave you a lot of facts, and they were
Yeah.
facts, and I had them written down. I knew what was going on. You are an idiot.
Look, we can all do
And you
prep.
haven't. No, but yeah, exactly. And you haven't.
I've done prep, but on a different subject. I just wanted to get the fun one out of the way.
Okay, now get to your proper subject then.
Proper
if this is
subject.
the fun one, mate, then I'd.
Well, look,
Yep. So you've written there.
Christopher Wren,
Francis
Henry
Drake,
VIII, Francis
wanker.
Drake. He was a wanker.
Christopher Wren
He invented slavery. You can't be more of a bigger wanker than that.
didn't invent it. He said he just didn't.
You said he invented it.
He just didn't put a stop to it.
You
and
said he invented.
and
He encouraged it.
He profited of it.
He profited
big time.
big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slave ships he had, didn't he?
Yeah.
Awful man. One thing I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
There was a couple of things. World War II, number one,
Let's do that again.
because I wanted to talk about your family history, my family history.
Oh yeah.
About World War II, because I had so my family's a bit strange. My mum is English, my dad is Burmese. So my grandfather on my dad's side was in World War II. It was in a Japanese prisoner of war camp.
Enemies.
No,
No?
no. Burma was part of the British Empire.
I know that.
Yeah. You sure? Because you said
Well, I know
you
that
did
now.
that.
I know
and
that.
then-
Yeah, going
Yeah.
Spud legend.
Yeah. Oh, right, I see. Yeah.
This
But-
would be fighting. This
yeah,
is mate.
the Japanese invaded Burma,
Okay.
and then the Japanese were at the time. Oh, they were nasty bastards.
Why did the Japanese get involved with the Second World War?
They had felt marginalized for years and years and years against by China, by the British. They saw Hitler's rise and they just aligned themselves to it. To put it very, very simply.
The Japanese are such lovely people.
Yeah, now the Germans are lovely people now.
I know the Germans are great now.
The Germans are awesome. That's not that fucking long ago.
Bruv,
How mad is it?
super recent.
How mad is that?
When I was working in Germany, actually, when the crew, I spent a couple of years with them. They spoke about
Yeah.
the war, not a lot, but they kind of wanted to let me know. It's just in their culture.
It's in their culture, yeah. For
They
sure.
were talking. Yeah, it's really interesting. They're properly taught. They properly taught it at school, but
Yeah.
should be of course.
But I think arguably because of it, they've become a brilliant kind of forward-thinking country.
They are incredibly forward thinking.
Yeah, they're a really cool country. But so yeah, I mean, yeah, it wasn't that long ago at all. But yeah, my family. So my dad's side, my grandfather was in a prisoner of war camp
Yeah, that's
for like
prophetic.
2 years, for like 2 or 3 years. The whole
And
of
was
the-
it like a good? Not that they're a good prison of war camps. Obviously,
It was bad. I mean, he didn't talk about it much, but he said. So funny story. So he went in. So to talk a little bit about my family, my grandmother was a member of the royal family. She was a Burmese princess of the northern Senwi state, which is I think I've talked to you about this, but obviously not on live television. And it is it's TV because it's
like
cameras. Radio is good enough. Whatever. And she married my grandfather, who was like a bum. He wasn't. He was from like a pretty good family, but there wasn't a royal family. They wanted her to marry another royal, and she fell in love with my grandfather pre-World War II.
You trying to say you're royalty?
Well, I'm not. I mean, I technically am, but I'm not in the. It doesn't mean anything because the military junta took over in 1969. So my dad was born in 1959, and then in 1969 he was 10 years old. The military took over.
Yeah,
and basically they started a horrible, violent campaign, which is to this day still a thing, where the military have taken over in a military coup and they're a dictatorship, and they have been killing their own civilians for the best part of 50 years at this point. So we haven't been able to go back. My dad went back once in 2008, but it'd be like going to like North Korea. It's horrendous. And they're backed by Russia and they're backed by China. Right? The nasty bastards of China and Russia. Not that I'm sure there's people in Russia and China that are lovely. But yeah, that'll happen. My grandfather met my grandmother. They got married, and they got separated by World War II. And then he was like this before World War II. He was like this cool like icon in Burma. He'd like won best dressed man in Rangoon because he's part Irish, which is where my surname Quinn comes from. He was tall.
Why you're tall?
Yeah, well, my dad's 5'9", but my grandfather was 6 foot. In Burma in the fucking 30s, you can imagine everyone's very short. He'd won that best dressed man in Burma. He was like, really took pride in his suits. So when he got captured by the Japanese, all he had, all he clung onto was this suitcase with his favorite suit in. And he was like, I'm going to hold, that's my only item. They let him keep one item belonging, and he kept this suit, and he was like, I'm going to wear this when I get free. That's when I put on this suit, and that would represent my freedom. Then he got put into a Japanese prisoner of war camp, and he didn't really talk much about what it was, but it would have been brutal. It would have been brutal. And at one point, he nearly got executed by firing squad, but he'd made friends with the Japanese officer like a year before. And in the middle of the night, that he got woken up, taken out to fucking like wall, firing squad, and luckily the Japanese officer interrupted, and because he came in and was like, "What's going on?" and stopped it and saved his life. And then about a year after that, the Allies, the Americans, were bombing the prisoner of war camp, and they blew a hole in the fence and the wall. So all of the prisoners escaped. My grandfather, and he was holding his. This is insane. This is an insane story, but it's only one of the few stories he told me. And he was running out of the prison camp with his suitcase clutched to him and running. And the way he described it, he was like, "You're running along, and bullets are going past your head, and they sound like bees." Like, horrible, horrendous. And the Allies are bombing, and he could hear a bomb fall, and he pushed his friend out of the way, and they dived out of the way. The bomb went off, and he got up, and his suit had been blown to bits, and he was just like, typical. I was like, he was far too casual telling this story. I was like, what?
You know, all I'm thinking here, mate, is you've used this podcast and our millions of listeners to shoehorn your way into getting a film greenlit where you play your grandfather in a prison of war thing. And like the prison of war thing by itself, no offense, you know, dime a dozen. We've all seen it. The suit thing,
good, isn't it?
Now, here's what I would say. The suit thing is, did he end up becoming a famous tailor?
No, but we can make this.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did
actually. Yeah,
now,
he did. Yeah. Quinn suit.
Shush. And he's Mr. Savile. Mr. Savile. And so he got his suit, and he's running, and the bullets and stuff. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And they blow up the suit. And he's like, the one that I've kept this the whole way through the prison of war. I'm going to rebuild that suit.
Yeah.
And so he spends, and then the second half of the movie, sort of your final act is him finding it, and then the credits at the end go, and it doesn't matter, by the way, if it's not a true story. You go
inspired by
true events. Thank you very much. Yeah. He went on to become one of the most famous suit makers. We have chosen not to tell you the name of who the suit maker is to protect the innocent. So the audience are going, bloody hell, is it Giorgio Armani? Maybe.
Could be.
Is it the entirety of Savile Row? Maybe. Anyway, I think it's got Oscar written all over it. Not that you want one, you want to be in the British War Museum or whatever the fuck it is you said earlier.
Not the War Museum.
Shut up. But whatever you want to be in. That's a really good story.
Good story.
But thanks so much for asking me about my family history to set up for your sick ass story.
Well, I want to, but did your grandparents fight in the war?
Yeah, asked my one was in the RAF and never met him, but he was a very good guy by all accounts. Was a fighter pilot, hence why I had to get over my fear of flying because I think flying is fucking sick.
He's a fighter pilot.
Yep.
That's fucking interesting.
His name's Fred. And then Jack, my dad's dad, he fought in Africa. And
wow.
I only asked him once. I said, were you ever shot? I asked him about the whole war. I was probably about 12. And he was like, no, I got shot at a lot. And I got some shrapnel buried in me. And he was a very jovial man. He was a very kind man. Jack, brilliant man. But didn't want to talk about it too much. So we didn't talk about it too much. And that was that, really. Great craftsman, my grandfather. Could build things. Shows how
you've inherited that.
Well, I'm building content.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. This is
taking a slight step. Now, okay.
Use your hands.
Yeah, I'm my words are my tools.
Yeah, I use my head, not my hands.
You are so unbelievably stupid.
It's going well. It's going very well. Yeah. So that's Burma.
I want you to get back to this.
To Burma.
No.
To the whiteboard?
Yes.
What? Not the wives again. We've done
not the wives. Tell me something else about Henry. Tell me anything else about Henry. This is your topic this week. Tell me anything, because I could go more on Sir Francis Drake in the 16th century.
Yeah.
I picked the whole of the 16th century. It's a big topic because it's 100 years.
Yeah. Actually, lived in Hampton Court Palace.
Okay, we're gonna move on. I
don't want to. No, I'd rather dial in to Henry.
No, we're gonna move on.
Okay, what have you got?
Is that the end of the history segment for this week?
I think it could be the end of the history segment.
I think we've nailed it.
I think that went well.
We're not looking for feedback. Either you liked it, keep listening. If you didn't like it, turn us off, and that's fine. This isn't for you.
It's not. No,
we enjoy doing it, and so we've all had a laugh.
It's been educational.
Not the producers. They're staring daggers at us.
They're not happy.
That's fine. I want to tell you. We're gonna play a game.
Love games.
Okay, and you're at a party, and it's full of sort of like lefty sort of West London creative
liberal intelligentsia.
Bellends, basically. Yeah. It's wall to wall.
Sure.
And you have got to publicly defend this or that. These people, right? And you've got to sort of say something along the lines of, they're just misunderstood. He's an all right guy.
Fine.
Right?
And we're doing this from this is a game. It's not actually what I think.
No, this is a game. This is a game,
fine,
right?
Yeah.
So it starts with, you've got to defend these people. So Russell Brand or Joey Barton? Quick fire, because it's going to go.
Joey Barton, I'm going to go for.
Okay, winner stays on. Joey Barton or Michael Jackson?
Joey Barton, probably.
Joey Barton or Andrew Tate?
Joey Barton.
No, sorry. You've won Joey Barton, so now it's Michael Jackson versus Andrew Tate.
Oh, fuck.
So it's the loser.
Jackson, obviously.
Okay, so...
he actually had something to say and did something. Andrew Tate has provided nothing.
Yeah.
He's a man that has got somehow notorious for doing quite literally nothing. His kickboxing titles are all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, they're bullshit. What organisation are you kickboxing in? He's a fucking bald cunt, and I'm fucking sick of him. I'm actually hating him.
I'll be interested to see where you go with it. Andrew Tate or Prince Andrew? Stumped.
That's a difficult one, isn't it?
That's a catch-22.
Oh,
but you have to answer. And at this party, they go to you, that bloody Prince Andrew, and you have to turn around and go, well, listen, guy. I think he's a bit misunderstood. You got to really back it. You can't be like, I'm having a sideways look. You are saying this fucking with your chest.
Got to defend him.
So it's him at the moment versus Andrew Tate.
We'll talk
for 5 or 6 minutes at length.
I reckon I could probably defend Prince Andrew more. He can't sweat.
Can't swear. It's
You
amazing.
can't swear.
No, but you can't be funny about it either. You got to you wholeheartedly be like, no, he was an all right guy. I think.
What do you mean I can't be funny about it? I'm never funny.
You've got to. It's true.
I only speak facts.
When it goes off, then so we're left with it is Andrew Tate. Well, this is easy. Andrew Tate versus Ian Watkins. Do you know who Ian Watkins is?
H from Steps.
No, for fuck's sake, no. Ian Watkins.
I know.
Ian Watkins.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just rather it be H from Steps.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to defend Andrew Tate because the other one is a convicted nonce.
Yep. Disgusting.
So I can't. How do you defend that?
Monster man.
No, seriously,
When
Last Train Home is a banger.
When it goes off, and this is the grand finale.
Go on then.
This is Ian Watkins versus Jimmy Savile.
Ian Watkins, I'd defend because Last Train Home, as I said, is a banger. It's a banger. It's a banger. Wow. It's a banger. It is. I can enjoy his music.
No, but you're defending his actions in this.
Oh, not. Oh, you can't defend his actions. How can you defend his actions unless the only way you could defend his actions would be he got hit in the head. And he didn't know what he was doing.
Okay. This is a new segment that I've come up with this week. Seeing as Harvey brings nothing to the table week in, week out.
Well, I've got a whiteboard.
Okay. I've decided to bring a new segment. I'm going to see if it takes. Now, I can't stress enough. I don't care whether this is successful or not.
Yeah.
It's whether or not we enjoy doing it.
That's exactly
so
right.
when you're writing in with your little emails and you're saying, we didn't like that one, we did like this one, it's not relevant whether you like it or not. What's relevant is whether we enjoy doing it.
Seriously, if you do write in, or actually, there's a few people that have actually commented and been like, really enjoy the show. However, it would be good if
You've lost us at the however bit.
Yeah.
That's
if you
the however bit is where we
And I want to just talk to those people just because, I want to make it absolutely clear.
Yeah.
Why don't you fuck off, mate? Why don't you fuck off? Stop watching. Because I'm not going to change. We're not going to change this.
No.
This is it.
Do you know why I stopped listening to the Peter Crouch podcast? Was because they started to listen to shit munchers like you saying, we like the in-jokes. Do you? Does anybody like people having in-jokes when you're not included in it?
You're not included in them.
Shut up, man.
You're not included.
Right, this was put together by Blue Peter a couple of years ago. And it is a
couple of years ago.
Yeah,
they're still going.
Well, because the context. Yeah, Blue Peter's up and running, isn't it? Don't tell me Blue Peter's been cancelled.
Well, Michaela Strachan was in it.
I still plan on getting a gold Blue Peter badge.
It's blue. It's a blue one, no?
No, a gold one.
What's a gold one?
Top brass, bruv.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What can you get from it? You get free stamps at the post office.
I don't care what you get.
You get free entry to things though with a Blue Peter badge.
I would imagine. They gave one to Stephen Merchant if he's got one. So this rise, the lyrics are a bit dated.
Sure.
It's called Finish the Lyric, and it starts easy, but it gets harder.
Go on then.
Okay. So, but play along sincerely because it does get difficult.
Yeah, of course.
So I think they put it out on their it was when they invented the internet they came to the internet 2008, 2009. They put it on their homepage, whatever.
Yeah.
Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, we're
living on a prayer.
Correct. You're good. Have you done this before?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
Don't look back in
anger. I heard
very good. Say. Like I said, it does get harder. What's that coming over the hill? Is it a
monster?
That's it as well. This ain't a love song. This is
booty time.
No.
What is it?
This ain't a love song. This is This ain't a love song. This is good.
Goodbye.
Arthritis.
Arthritis. This is a love song. This is arthritis.
Man, I feel like
a woman.
Bitch, I'm back on my grizzy. Young Money, where you at? You don't know this?
No.
2 tables and the mic. Tell the DJ run it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
When the feeling's gone and you can't go on, it's
booty time.
Arthritis.
Arthritis. When the feeling's gone and you can't go on.
You can try to resist, just to hide from my kiss, but you know.
You can't find the moonlight.
Arthritis.
Coyote Ugly. Coyote Ugly. I was in Cardiff this weekend and there's a bar right next to the station called Coyote Ugly, and on the outside of it they've put the world's most famous bar. Don't think you can claim that, guys. Cardiff. I don't think you can claim.
Cardiff said because their bar's called
Coyote Ugly, they've just put the world most famous. Guy, Cardiff. That's not how it works.
The most famous bar in the world is
Cheers.
No, without doubt, the Viper Room, no?
Still exists. We didn't think it did, but it was still there.
The Viper Room's still there.
Yeah, we walked past it and we were like, oh yeah, it's still open. Mental.
Yeah.
Close that down, surely. That's
well, Johnny Depp.
He doesn't own it.
Doesn't own anymore, but when he did own it, he would close it down once a year on the night that River Phoenix died.
But, I mean, yeah, for sure. It's not enough though, is it, Johnny? Is that all you're doing? You're not send his family a card, Johnny. Do you know what I mean? Send them a card.
This is liable, but
It's liable.
I don't know how to spin it.
Then surely don't.
Well, it's rumored. That's how you do it. It's rumored.
I've heard.
It's rumored.
Yeah.
That River Phoenix went up to the Viper Room that night, and it was Flea and Johnny and someone else playing in the band that night.
Yeah.
And they'd promised River, who's a lot younger than them, that he could play that night. And then apparently, Johnny was like, "No, mate, fuck off, not tonight. Take this, drugs." And that's when River went out around the corner in like a rage, angry, got really fucked up, and had that overdose. Now that is completely rumored. It's hearsay. I hope it isn't true.
I hope it's not true.
I don't know if it is true.
I don't think it's true.
But I was once at a event where Rain Phoenix was, and Johnny was talking.
Yeah.
And at the end of his big speech, she was the first person to stand up and give him a standing ovation, and that was the first time that they'd been in the same room together for a couple of years. And everyone else said it was like a forgiveness.
Well, I mean,
again, it's pure speculation. We'll never really know.
We'll never know.
There wasn't CCTV. In the same way that we'll never really know what happened with Anne Boleyn.
Well, this is the thing. You criticised the order. Do we know that was the real order?
Yes.
I think that's the order.
We know
No, we don't.
Yeah, we know that's
what. We just have to trust experts, do we? We've talked about experts before. No, you don't even believe that William Shakespeare was real because of experts.
I don't believe that William Shakespeare was real.
But all the experts agree that he was.
No. Do you have anything else? It's sort of dying on its arse a little bit.
Well, hang on. I thought we were playing. What were we just talking about?
Well, I just did my finished the lyric thing, which was, we didn't nail it.
What was that? Was that all of them?
Yeah, that was all.
The last one was Coyote Ugly Can't Fight the Moonlight.
Well, it was, the running joke was supposed to be comedy comes in threes, and I thought if you play the game properly,
arthritis.
And where I lost you was I'd done this to my friends earlier,
and I said booty time.
And when you did that, you took the joke. No, because that would have been funny if it was a real quiz. But because it wasn't a real quiz,
it's not a real quiz.
Then my jokes fell flat, and because things come in threes.
Yeah,
I thought by the time I got the third one, the joke would have re-landed, and it didn't land. But that's why we're just testing things out now.
Just trying things.
What's important for you, the listener? This is why you're getting it first blood, first hand.
Go for it.
Is because other shows would have tested out their material and then done it on the show.
Don't believe in it.
We don't do that.
Don't believe in it. I simply won't. Just a bit of housekeeping.
Yeah.
Again, and we should have done this at the beginning, but those of you that are still with us, and it'd be mental if you weren't, to be honest. Although I get the statistics and there is drop off.
What's dropped off?
Look, I know your names. And as I said, you will see us about. And it's not going to be nice. Also, I do think we're massively over time.
No, we're not over time.
Yeah, we are. Because we started.
Did we start early?
At 5.
Do you know what it is? It's because they've moved the little...
I can't see the thing. Let me have a look.
You can't see the timestamp. Harvey's up and going to have a look. He's going to cross the camera, which is always good.
It's an hour and 10 minutes.
An hour and 10 minutes!
Yeah, but look, I think that's good though, because that's sort
of... in my head, I was wondering, why are we losing so much steam here? Why are we dying on our arse? And it's because... we do tend to tap out at around 50 minutes, and then you normally bring in some bullshit about the fan mail or whatever, and that sort of gets us over the finish line.
Didn't even get to fan mail.
Was there fan mail? Fake fan mail.
Fake fan mail, yeah. So look, we'll save that for next week. Look, guys, it's been a pleasure, as usual. As usual.
Rate the podcast out of 10 this week. So how do you think it went?
10 out of 10 every time.
Okay.
Every time, 10 out of 10.
Because if we don't think it's 10 out of 10.
Because what the fuck are we doing if it's not? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't talk anything. Well, look, there's loads of stuff we've got to talk about. We both watched Killers of the Flower Moon yesterday.
God, there's so
we
much
didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about...
Go on. This is important. I was actually... This would annoy me.
Go on.
I read a book on holiday called... it's by Dolly Alderton.
Dolly Alderton, yeah.
And it was called...
I've got a funny thing to tell you about that in a minute.
It was called... so bad that I can't remember the name of it. It's a book... Normally Dolly Alderton writes these self-help books.
She does, yeah.
Basically for women of a certain age, like 30-year-olds. And this one was about a breakup from the man's perspective. And she'd interviewed like 13 or 14 of her men mates about going through a breakup. And I read it on holiday, and I read it in 3 days. And I'm not, if I can shock you, I'm not a great reader. And I loved it. Great. I thought it was really insightful. I thought it was amazing observations. And I think that she deserves the plaudits for the book, because I think she's fucking good. And I'll read more of her stuff. I think she's very, very, very good.
So that's a new segment, book reviews.
Don't hold out for them, because we might just be doing one a year. Yeah. And that could be it for 2024.
Matt, how do you want to wrap this up?
Stay out of my fucking way.
Stay out of my fucking way, honestly.